This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April, we saw a sneak peek of a movie today.
Yes, we did.
What did we see?
The Little Mermaid.
Woo-hoo! The live action.
Yes.
So I have so much to say.
Yes.
But the first thing I want to say
Uh-huh.
is that of all the live action movies I've seen that Disney's done, this is by far home run.
Yes.
Knocked it out of the goddamn park.
And you would think it would be harder because half of the movie is underwater.
Exactly. And the whole time I was like, how did they do this?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Like, just imagine, like, they didn't film all of these scenes underwater, obviously. So they really had to like train their bodies to be flowy.
Yeah.
You know, and like graceful because you're in water.
Yeah.
And that must have been so hard. This, you know how when they film like you're flying and stuff, they're dropping you and this and that. Like this must have been so much harder. Like, oh, Haley, it looks like she had abs from like the muscle strength she had to use to like manipulate her body.
Oh yeah, like she was just flipping and flopping and like doing this weird, not weird, but like
like obviously the camera is also turning upside down and around, but she is on some kind of spinning mechanism that can twirl her and turn her and spin her.
Like, it's believable. It looks like she actually did it. And I kept watching, like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
I feel like they should have waited for Beauty and the Beast because this is how it should have looked.
Yes.
Beauty and the Beast looked like crap. It was creepy.
The worst one, though, definitely has to be The Lion King, though.
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Oh, you never saw the live action? Yeah, like you would think live action, they're going to be animal based, right? Yeah. But they didn't. They went all CG.
Yeah, like I feel like this movie, they really looked real. Like it's crazy how real they looked. And even though their mouths were moving, it still seemed believable.
Yeah.
Except for Flounder, he had a Bob Bass or a Bass look about him. And I just kept thinking he was about to start singing. But other than that, like all the other animals looked legit.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, okay, so we had no choice but to see it in 3D.
Yep.
And you definitely, I hate 3D, but this was amazing in 3D. I wish we had seen it in 4D where you get like water splashed on you because it would have been phenomenal. Like what an experience that would have been. Like even the bubbles looked like they were like floating in our theater. And it was, I've never seen a 3D movie look like that before. Like I've seen a lot of 3D movies and they'll have like one scene where it looks like they're popping out at you. But this was it the entire time. The seagull looked like it was in our theater swooping around and stuff.
It was very well done.
The only issue I had is that the seagull could go underwater.
For too long.
Yeah, for a really long time.
Yeah.
That was my only...
Yeah, like, I'm forgetting to breathe, you know?
I don't think birds can do that. But, you know, maybe they can. I don't know.
Like, it would have been more believable if he was just standing on the rock and sticking his head underwater. Yeah. But he was literally flying, swimming underwater.
And I think... I don't know for sure who the character is. Now I need to look it up because it's going to drive me crazy. Let's see here.
My first two complaints, while you look that up, is when I found the bralette of Ariel, like that little fringe on it, very annoying. I would have preferred it not have the fringe or have more fringe and it floated about.
Yeah.
You know, but that one was just, I didn't like that.
I did think it was really cool how it floated, though. I was like, look at that. Okay, so I thought it was Aquafina.
Yeah, it is.
She's the voice of Scuttle. It's not the same as what I remember because, you know, it's like a lower man's voice in the cartoon. But she won me over. Like, especially, she has a special song that she did not have, or Scuttle didn't have in the original. And it's called Scuttlebutt. And it was hilarious.
Yes.
And she won me over. And I really, really enjoyed that character.
Yes. My second complaint is I don't feel Ariel's hair was red enough.
Thank you. I was going to say the same thing.
Like, I get it. You're trying to be realistic, you know, and you don't want to go like flaming red, but like maybe 2 more shades redder.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't red enough.
Especially when they're doing the under the sea sections, like when they're doing like under the sea and there's like all this swimming, you know, it's under the sea. There's darkness. I wish her hair had stood out more.
Also, it looked like everybody else's was brushed. Hers looked always kind of in a state of like knotted. And
well, I think because she had to keep the same hairstyle wet and dry.
Yeah. And so I was just like, that was the only thing that bothered me was that it wasn't red enough as well. Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
Like, I get they're not trying to be fake, but like just 2 more shades redder would have been like perfect.
But I will say on the contrast, Eric. Perfection. Perfection.
Yes.
Like, if I had to draw up exactly what Eric in real life should look like, it is this man. And he had the blue eyes and the curly brown hair, and he could sing. Perfection.
Yes.
Was I annoyed by the song that he sang?
I liked it.
I liked it, but I didn't like it. I thought it went on a little too long.
I will agree with that. Like the second scene when he's on the boat was unnecessary. Yeah, they should have just kept him on the shore. I think my favorite part of Ariel's look has to be her fins.
Yes.
Like, it's not just, you know, like a plain fin.
Yeah.
Like, it's flowy. It's like it's several pieces. And then you can see it's multicolored, obviously, but when she goes on shore and the sun hits it, you can really see it like mermaid shimmer. And I loved that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then when she was sitting on that other animal, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. When they were doing that under the sea song.
It was incredible. She's like riding on this jellyfish.
Oh yeah, I mean, she was on everything.
She was on everything, but there was like a specific fish, and I don't know what kind it was.
Yeah, like the glow in the dark jellyfish scene. That was amazing. It had
this like beautiful tail, and it looked like it was extended on her tail, and it was gorgeous.
I like the part where like the little feathery, I don't know, seaweed was like around her. And it's just like in the movie when she's like dancing around it. I loved it.
She joined in on the singing, and that kind of bothered me because I was like, I'm not used to that. It was okay. But I was just like, no, she's not supposed to enjoy it. She's supposed to dance around, but she's not supposed to sing along. It's Sebastian's song.
He got 2 songs. She only got 1.
I will say,
with different verses.
She nailed Part of My World. Part of Your World.
Yes.
So good. Like,
loved it.
Was she the mermaid I thought should play in The Mermaid? No, because I was thinking red hair, Emma Stone. She can sing. She has red hair. She's very pale. I thought, she'd be a perfect mermaid. When they picked her, I was like, I don't see it. But then I saw her with like red hair one day and I was like, okay, I get it. Now her hair was a lot redder in the picture I saw of her that way before, like I saw the like
the previews and stuff.
And I was like, okay, I kind of get it. The moment she came on the scene, I was like, okay, she nailed it.
I am happy that it really feels like the most important part of casting was who can sing this song and give it justice.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like the audition maybe was based like I don't know how it was done, but I can definitely see like a blind audition where they're just doing the voice and be like, okay, she can sing it, she can sing it, she can.
Yeah.
And then they slowly started whittling them down.
Yeah, because she was incredible.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy as Ursula.
I couldn't even tell it was her.
So great.
Like, there was only one moment in the movie where I actually heard her Melissa McCarthy voice.
Yeah.
But the whole movie, she was in character.
She sounds just like her.
I did not know she could sing.
Oh, I knew she could sing.
And wow.
Yeah.
Wow. She did amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like whenever she was on, she was stealing the show.
Oh, she was so good.
Yes.
And her hair looked amazing.
Yeah.
And
it kind of reminded me of Miss Marvel from Endgames when they had, I think, put her hair in a cap because her hair was going to be flowing. So maybe that's what they did with her too.
Yeah, because it looked amazing.
Yeah. One letdown would be Poseidon.
Yeah.
He didn't seem very king of the oceans.
He just seems sad. I mean, he looked the part.
I feel he should have been much more.
Yeah.
Especially the crown. Like, I didn't get king vibes from him. I really didn't. Now, when Melissa McCarthy at the end, Ursula becomes like queen of the seas.
Yeah.
Like, obviously she's evil, so she's gonna go 100%.
Of course.
But like that should have been what's his name? King Triton?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been King Triton, you know?
Agreed.
But I get it. He's not evil. But I didn't get that command from him, that authority.
One thing that I really, really liked in the movie that I wasn't sure how they were going to do, but like during Under the Sea, when all the different fish are dancing and stuff, it looked like how 2023 and the AI technology and the other technology, CGI, really, really, really makes things look so real, because I was like, I wonder if they sat around, they're like, how would that sea creature move? And they did it. Like, it was so cool. I'm not even a child, and I was like sitting there just slack-jawed, just watching all of this happen.
Yes.
It was so cool. And then like during Kiss the Girl, just I kind of wanted them to have like the frogs and stuff. I was missing that.
So when they were doing Kiss the Girl, obviously it starts off very plain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is nice. It's not as magical as the movie, as the cartoon. And then you see the fireflies and the fish do shoot the water, and you're like, oh my God.
They shot it in his face and he like giggles. That was fun.
Because if I was like, well, how do you make it magical?
Yeah.
They found a way.
They did. I loved all that part. I just was hoping that they would have like the frogs that are singing and have Scuttle, really go for the gusto. I was a little sad that they didn't go that hard, but it was pretty magical.
Yeah. I love how, when they're rowing the boat, the three of them are on the oar.
Yeah, I did like that. Let's see here. I think it's interesting that this girl washes up, right, on this boat, And he's like, we're going to take you to the castle, of all the places to take somebody. And then all of them are treating her not like royalty, but like they're not making her work. They're just letting her chill in the castle. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting.
Well, remember, she's in shock. It's definitely a small principality.
Yeah.
You know, they have a tiny island that's been eroded. So yeah, like you would take a lost found person to the manor, you know, to see the master.
I guess so.
I mean, she was literally only there for 3 days. They hadn't really like ironclad what her future role in the household would be.
Yeah.
So
I did enjoy, and I never really, because I guess we didn't have that in the cartoon version, but we have her tavern, right? Full of all of her treasures and stuff that she's found from up above. Mm-hmm. And then juxtaposition, they have his library that's in the same sort of feel. And it's all of his treasures from sea.
yep.
And I was like, that is so cool.
Like this. Okay. So one of the biggest problems with the original Little Mermaid is that Eric didn't do anything.
He's kind of a side character.
Yeah. Like he did not do anything.
Yeah.
But in this one, like he's interested. He's talking to her. He's teaching her. And even he's learning from her.
Yeah.
Like he is a supporting character. Like he is very important to the story, obviously, if she's doing all of this for him.
Yeah.
And you see, like, that's another problem with old Disney movies. Like, oh, they're meant to be happily ever after. But like, based on what?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So like in this movie, you see her listening in on him, on his hopes and dreams, you know?
Yes.
So at least it's not based just on looks, you know? And then as he talks and they get to know each other, you know, like I really felt they got to know each other.
Like, even though she couldn't talk, she was able to teach him how to blow a seashell because he didn't know how to do that. Still doesn't.
But he's going to work on it.
Yeah, he's going to work on it. And she showed him a treasure that was hiding in one of his sea
Rocks.
And he's like, how did you know that was there? Because she lives under the sea. And then, like, she takes him for a joyride on there. Just like in the
I was
original.
surprised he didn't take the reins from her.
Yeah. It's just like, it'll be fun.
Yep.
They seem to really have chemistry.
Yes.
Which is super important.
Yeah. Especially when one person can't talk.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like she only has facial expressions and you see that wonder of her discovering this whole new world. You know, like she's just amazed by everything.
Yeah. It was so interesting. And I did have this thought while we were watching it. I was like, I wonder if they could have like a number 2 where they meet like Cinderella and Prince Charming, or like
like a Descendants, but the Disney princesses.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if something like that could happen.
Once they finish remaking all of these Disney movies, then they're going to do some kind of Avengers.
Ooh. That would be cool.
I wouldn't mind it.
I will say what in the movie, in the cartoon movie, it seemed like a much bigger boat next to Ursula when they stab her with the boat. In this one, it was such a tiny boat in comparison to Ursula. And I was just like, that doesn't seem like that would kill her.
I mean, do you know the weakest point to an octopus?
Well, I guess it could be their stomach. I don't know.
I don't know either, but obviously if you lived under the sea, you would know these things.
I did like that she was always kind of crawling and kind of sideways instead of upright. I feel like Ursula was always more upright, but I liked that they had her in
slithery kind of.
In a different kind of way.
Like she is making use of all of her limbs.
Yeah. And they were gorgeous.
Yeah, the little glowiness. Yes.
So cool. And the little glowy things off of her face. So cool.
Yep. One of the things this movie reminded me of is, do you remember the Finding Nemo DVD?
I've seen it.
Well, the DVD had a special where you could just leave it playing and it would have like Under the Sea, like a screensaver for your TV.
Oh, that's cool.
And I would run that. And I was just thinking like, oh my God, I would love to just run that on my TV. This Under the Sea, like niceness. Sometimes when I want to relax, I'll put on NORAD or what is it? Whatever, the Ocean People's channel online and just like watch Under the Sea stuff. I also like listening to like hard snow falling down while a fireplace is like burning in the background on YouTube. I'll just play that and do whatever I'm doing.
Okay, you want to know what's super weird about that?
What?
Is that just yesterday I was telling a girl that we work with, I said that when I was a kid, I had this big giant marionette. It was like a big puppet. And one time, I remember this very clearly. I had the windows open. It was snowing. I was listening to a Kenny G Christmas CD, and I was playing with this big giant marionette and like having it dance all around the place. I was not a child. Okay. I was like a teenager, maybe in high school, something like that. And I remembered that, and I thought, if someone saw me doing that, they would be like, what the fuck is she doing? I was enjoying myself. That's what I was doing. Enjoying the snow. I like to watch the snow. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. Be like, whatever, that's
big
just Sarah.
Puppet.
I mean, if you don't use it, it's just sitting there being wasted.
True. I think the more embarrassing part is that I was listening to Kenny G on my own.
I mean, you love Christmas songs.
That is true.
That's a huge difference. It's not just any Kenny G. It's the Christmas album.
That is true.
And you love Christmas.
I do. I do indeed. As much as I love Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, I kind of want to know what it'd been like to have Lizzo as Ursula, because she was in the running for it at one point.
She has a voice too.
Yeah, she does. Though I think she nailed it.
Oh yeah, very well.
But a part of me is like, oh, I kind of.
You're always going to wonder.
Been like too. I love the dog, Max. He was a good representation. He was a fun dog. Is there any? Oh, I thought, is it Gisby? His little bell guy or butler. Thought he was a good
wingman.
Yeah, a good wingman.
Yeah, he was a really good wingman.
Yeah. Let's see here. I can't think of anything else.
Ursula in human form.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she did good. I was waiting once Eric came to shore after, they saved, the kingdom, that Ariel and King Triton would come to shore and in front of everybody, like, send her off.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it's okay. It still happened. And I love when all the mermaid people showed up.
Yeah.
It reminded me of in Justice League when everybody knew about Aquaman, but nobody talked about Aquaman. So I feel like all of these people in this country will know that mermaids are real, but like
they're not going to talk about it.
Yep. Mermaids are our friends.
That is something that bothered me in the cartoon. They don't ever harp on the fact that she's a mermaid. I don't even know if he really knows she's a mermaid until like he sees her but like nobody else really paid attention. Like it's not a big deal.
And at least this one, they were like, she's a sea creature.
Yeah, they're
like they acknowledged it.
Yeah.
And then they acknowledged that she is real and you do love her.
Yeah.
You know?
I was very disappointed that they didn't have the kitchen scene.
I was listening to you say that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts is is him doing the thing with the crab. So I was a little sad about that. I don't know, like, why would they take that out? That seems like a weird one to just be like, no.
Well, I mean, they took out the whole fork with her hair at the dining room table and they put it in a different scene.
True.
So
I just
maybe they just didn't have enough time for him to escape and keep the plot going. It doesn't mean it wasn't recorded.
True.
You know, it could be like a deleted scene.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to get the DVD. I could watch the deleted scene.
And the behind the scenes on how they filmed this.
Yes.
The costumes and designs.
Important. Like if this doesn't win an Oscar for something, I don't know what category it would be in, but
oh my God,
deserves it.
It's going to be up for special effects.
Yeah.
The costumes and I don't know, music,
Makeup,
probably.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like so much. I don't know if I have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I enjoyed the new musical numbers. I really did. This is the first time I've enjoyed them. I feel that I can rewatch this movie.
Yes.
And those new songs will eventually, I will learn them.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I think there was like 3 songs that were added. I liked all 3 of them. The one went really long, but when it first started, I was all in. And then I was like, okay, this is going on a little bit long there.
Yep.
Prince.
I still found it sad when Ariel's treasure got destroyed.
Yes.
Oh, I thought another scene when she has Eric's broken hand, that when she started to put her head down, she was going to put her head down on his hand, but she didn't. So I think that was a missed opportunity.
Right.
Instead, she just put like her head down on a rock next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything else. So if you had to rate this, what would you rate it?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
10 out of 10. I can't wait to rewatch this.
Wow, that is high praise.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it, 10 out of 10. Should have had the chef portion.
You have to pay extra for that.
I guess so. But geez, Louise, this was so good.
Yes.
All I can think is, man, I wish they'd waited and did Beauty and the Beast after this, because whatever they did to make those creatures look real and sound real and not so phony like it was in Beauty and the Beast.
Especially given that they're underwater and they wouldn't even have voices.
Right?
They still sounded better.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I cannot say the same for any of the other Disney movies that they've come out with lately that have been real world redos. This one was phenomenal.
I guess I would rank this first and then probably the Dalmatian movie, Cruella. Cruella was so good. But that was like a retelling of her youth.
Yeah.
But I loved that movie.
You know, actually, I was on another podcast, Why the Flick? And when we were doing it, we did Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And in that movie, the people who did the costuming were the same ones that did Cruella. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because as I was watching it, I was like, man, I'm in love with these costumes and it's making me remember about Cruella. And I said that to her and she goes, oh yeah, that's because it's the same person. I was like, that totally makes sense because it was phenomenal. And all their costuming here was great. Loved it. Loved
I
it.
love the Caribbean feel of it.
Yes. Yes. I was like, how are they going to weave in that he, like, okay, so as
I guess
reference,
his backstory.
yeah, his mother is black. He is white. And I was like,
Whatever. That's what it is now.
well, I thought, well, okay, maybe it's kind of like Bridgerton where it's just blind casting is whoever gets it. But what they decided to do was I guess they adopted him. I don't remember why they said they adopted him. I think they like found him.
Yeah, in a shipwreck.
Yeah.
Because they were like, not two shipwrecks, I almost lost you.
Yeah. And so they adopted him and now he's going to become king someday. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, that explains why. Yep. I was like, that's a fun, nifty way to do it. But yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't find believable was like, what was she the queen of?
Right.
An island? Like, it would have been so much more believable if it was a principality. Like, that's how I'm thinking of it, you know, because it's a small, tiny region.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the guy who did Sebastian's voice, I don't know if he passed away or not, but I kind of missed his version of it. The other guy did a good job, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And I was kind of missing that Sebastian-y voice a little bit. And the guy did a good job. And he was funny. Like all the grown-ups in the theater, we were all laughing every time he'd say something. So it worked. I just was like, I'm so used to hearing the other voices that I was like, could have been better. But, well, if you have nothing else and I have nothing else, where can people reach us?
Two Chicks Talking Flicks over on Instagram.
You can follow us at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks on Gmail.
Guess what? We have a Facebook, Two Chicks Talking Flicks.
And we have a TikTok, Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. So follow us and comment, rate, review. And see you next time.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.